Hello, friends. Welcome back to Transcendent Astrology and Tarot. My name is Michelle Fondin. I'm an author, speaker, astrologer, and tarot reader. I want to welcome you to my channel. And in this video, we're going to speak about a very particular transit, and it is Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Taurus, which is going exact on April 20th, 2024. And they are coming closer together in March and April, going exact at 21 degrees Taurus on April 20th, and then they will begin to separate. But this is a big deal, guys. This is a huge deal. Jupiter conjunct Uranus only happens once every 14 years. And the last time that these two big planets were conjunct in Taurus was in 1941. So if you are interested to find out the humongous changes that are about to take place in your life with this conjunction, do stay tuned. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for subscribing below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I do astrology and tarot readings. You can book that at my website. The links are all below. So let's talk about this big event, this big transit. Now, of course, as with any planetary transits, there is a singular event, but also there's the buildup to the singular event, right? So they are actually conjunct now as I am recording this on March 26th of 2024. They are already conjunct. Now, every astrologer is totally different with the orb. The orb means the degrees of separation between the two planets. So for me, I use an 8 to 10 degree orb for a conjunction. Now I'm being a little conservative on this one. So I'm considering an 8 degree orb, 8 degrees of separation, to be conjunct 8 degrees or less, if you will. Let's talk about these two planets, and let's also talk about Taurus. Now, we're also going to introduce the aspects or the major aspects that are happening with this conjunction on April 20th. The first thing I want to say to you is that Uranus stays in a sign for about 7 years and takes about 84 years to go around the ecliptic or go around the zodiac wheel. Now, Jupiter stays about a year in a sign and takes about 12 years to move around the ecliptic, which means the zodiac wheel. Now, let's see when and where these two planets entered the sign of Taurus. Uranus entered Taurus on May 15th of 2018 and will remain there until April 17th of 2026. So we've still got a little bit more time where Uranus is in Taurus, and Jupiter entered Taurus on May 16th of 2023 and will stay there until May 25th of 2024. So Jupiter is actually getting ready to exit Taurus at the end of May or toward the end of May, and Jupiter will be moving into Gemini, which is another huge deal, but we'll talk about that later. We're not going to talk about that now. What I really like to do when I talk about astrology, because I know so many viewers are brand new or have little knowledge of astrology, is I like to really go into the fine details of what each of these mean so that you can fully grasp how it applies to your life. Now, of course, everyone is totally different, right? We all have our very, very unique birth chart, which is like a snowflake. It is so unique to you. And if you would like some clarity on your birth chart, you can book a reading with me. But the way this is going to look for every single person is going to be slightly differently, but the themes are going to be similar for everyone, meaning the themes of Jupiter, the themes of Uranus, the themes of Taurus are going to be very similar, even if it happens in a different area of your chart. So let's talk about the sign Taurus and what that means. Now, I'm going to be doing a video on Taurus season so that you can really understand what is upcoming for Taurus season. But let's just look at the sign of Taurus. Taurus is a second sign in the zodiac. It is a fixed earth sign. Fixed means it's fixed. It doesn't move. Earth sign is something solid and stable, and it is ruled by the planet Venus. Venus is about beauty, money. It's about aesthetics. It's about the feminine, the yin. And Taurus, being a fixed earth sign, is about stability. But because it's ruled by Venus, it's also about sensuality and the finer things in life and enjoying those finer things in life. But being fixed earth, Taurus is also about being immovable. Think about roots that go deep, deep, deep into the soil. Those are intended to create an anchoring system for the tree, as well as a solid foundation for a home. You don't want your home being blown away by a tornado or crumbled down by an earthquake or landslide. And that's why we need a solid foundation for our homes. Taurus is very much a fixed sign. It's a stubborn sign, if you will. It can sometimes be considered to be stubborn, immovable, fixed, unwavering, right? But it is also about compassion and empathy and beauty. And when we think about these key words for Taurus, we think about a person who is reliable, patient, loyal, hardworking. We think about someone who's sensual, quiet, capable, trustworthy, but also a perfectionist, someone who could be prone to anger, and someone who is tenacious. They don't give up easily, but also they want pleasure and they want to be pampered. That is the tableau that I'm painting you of this scenery. So think of Taurus as the scenery of what is happening with these two transiting planets that are coming together, conjunct. So what is conjunct? Here's how I would like to describe it. Two planets that are conjunct are like they are sharing the same bed. Now, when planets are coming together, but they're still a little separate, think of the two planets as sharing a California king, if you will. So when there's an 8-degree orb, they're sharing a California king, and they might be sleeping on separate sides of the bed. But as they come together in conjunction, where there's less and less degrees between them until they are in exact alignment, think of those two planets as sharing a twin-size bed together. It's rather cozy, and there might be not a lot of wiggle room there, right? So it might get a little uncomfortable. It might get a little uneasy because they're so close together. Let's look at the traits of Jupiter. Jupiter is known as the Great Benefic. It is a planet that most people like to see in their chart. It's a planet that most people like to look at when they're looking at favorable aspects or they're looking at favorable transits. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So whatever Jupiter touches, it makes bigger, better, more loud, more vibrant. That is Jupiter. Key words are expansion, inflation, exaggeration, wisdom, wealth, beliefs, and vision. Because Jupiter is also responsible for your belief systems. It's also responsible for looking at the bigger picture, looking at the bigger vision of things. So it can be religions, belief systems, institutions, higher education. Jupiter isn't all good though, because if you have some food, that is good. But when you have too much food, the expansion of food, Jupiter, you can become overstuffed or overweight. If you have a tumor, for example, having Jupiter in the mix can make that tumor bigger, so not good. Let's look at Uranus traits. So Uranus is the planet, it's a modern ruler planet, right? If you think about it, Uranus is the planet of disruption. It is the higher octave of Mercury. So it is really about explosions in the sense of breaking the status quo, right? It's the rebel. It's the sudden, it's the unexpected, it is radical. So let's look at some keywords for Uranus: rebellion, liberation, shock, radical change, it opposes everything that is Saturnian. So Saturn is really about restriction, constriction. It's like the father figure, the principal at the school. Uranus is like, I want to break free from that. I am the rebel. I'm going to change things. And when you think about Jupiter and Uranus coming together, Uranus is going to cause Jupiter to make those changes bigger, those explosions bigger, those sudden changes bigger, those shock and awe bigger. It's going to cause something to move. Now let's think about what that does in Taurus. For better or for worse, right? Uranus conjunct Jupiter in Taurus could make you very wealthy suddenly, right? Something that you've been working at for a long time could suddenly take off. And you could have this windfall of cash coming into your lap. But it could also cause like an earthquake and have your home's foundation crumbled. It could cause an explosion of some sort. It could cause a landslide. So there are many things that are sudden and unexpected that could happen, and Jupiter is going to make it bigger and bigger and badder, if you will, because Uranus's happenings aren't always peachy. And especially in Taurus, we are talking about something sudden, big, that is also going to bring about permanent change. Because if you think about fixed Earth, it's very, very hard to change fixed Earth. If you've ever had a Taurus friend or a Taurus family member, you know how hard it is to get them to change their opinion. You know how hard it is to get them to do something that they don't want to do. In the same way, when Taurus is not wanting to change, if something is very fixed and solid and stable, but Uranus is going to come in to disrupt it all, it's going to take a big bang power. And Jupiter is ready to give Uranus that big bang power to change the fixed Earth. So you can imagine this is a big deal. This is a huge deal. It's not small potatoes, you guys. There's something big that can happen on the world stage in April, and there are some things that could change permanently in your personal life, just depending on where it is in your chart. I'd like to talk about a major aspect with 3 planets in Pisces that are going to lend a helping hand to Uranus conjunct Jupiter in Taurus. This is an interesting one. It's very, very interesting to me as I was digging deep and doing research on this aspect. I'm only going to talk about this one particular aspect. There are 2 aspects in one, if you will, because we have Uranus and Jupiter sextile Mars, Neptune, and Saturn in Pisces. Now, when I say that there are 2 aspects in one, it's because all 3 of these planets on April 20th are relatively close together in Pisces, but they are only in conjunctions 2 by 2s, using that 8-degree orb that I was telling you about. So we have Mars conjunct Saturn separating when this occurs on April 20th of 2024. Now, Mars conjunct Saturn is difficult. They're 2 challenging planets, Mars being the warring planet, Saturn being the big brother, the big sister, the stern father, the rules, the boundaries, the regulations, and Mars being warring, arguing, frustrated, fire, if you will. They're together, they're conjunct in Pisces, but they are separating at this time. Now let's say something else about Pisces. It's really important that you understand that this sextile, so they're in sextile with Uranus, Jupiter, and Taurus. Sextile is a helping hand. It's a more favorable aspect. It's about lending a helpful solution, a helpful hand to what is occurring. Now, I really believe that the bigger dynamic here is Uranus and Jupiter helping out what has been stuck in Pisces with Mars, Saturn, and Neptune, right? I feel that it's more that direction that is helping. Here's why I feel that. Because Uranus being the planet of radical change, Jupiter being the ruler of Pisces, where Neptune, Saturn, and Mars are all at this time. Jupiter is the old ruler of Pisces. Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces. Neptune is in Pisces. Jupiter is in Taurus. They are sextile. I really feel that it is Neptune, Mars, and Saturn that need a helping hand with this Uranus-Jupiter explosion. Because there's something here in Pisces that has been stuck for quite some time. Pisces is mutable water. It's a mutable water sign. It's also the 12th sign in the zodiac. The 12th sign is about endings. It is about finishing out something. It's about the higher spiritual perspective. And here we are. We've got two challenging planets. We've got Neptune, the dreamy planet, about illusions and dreams and not seeing things clearly. And we have Saturn and Mars. Now, Mars really doesn't like to be in Pisces. Mars loses its warrior power in Pisces. When we look at Mars conjunct Saturn in Pisces, we're looking at irritation, confusion, low energy. We're talking about just being really irritable. There's something you want to change. There's something you want to end. There's something that you want to be changed in your life. But there's this irritability and there's this lack of direction forward with Mars in Pisces. Let's look at Mars conjunct Neptune and what that is doing. So Mars is about ego. Neptune is about denying one's ego. They're conjunct. They're sharing the same bed. So we've got ego and denying one's ego together. Again, bringing you confusion, bringing you lack of direction, indecision, illusions. It's like these strange feelings of like, I gotta do something, but I don't know what to do. I don't know which direction to turn into. It's like these feelings of being weak. It's these feelings of being low energy. It's these feelings of not being able to move forward at all. Here's how I believe the sextile with Uranus, Jupiter, and Taurus is going to help. Uranus moving the earth beneath your feet will cause you to choose a direction, or that direction just might be chosen for you. I'm going to say that again. Uranus, Jupiter conjunct in Taurus may cause this confusion, this weakness, this indirection, this indecision with Mars and Neptune and Saturn in Pisces. It may cause that energy to move. It's like a tidal wave, right? It's going to cause a tsunami, a tidal wave. It is going to move the earth beneath your feet. But as I said, with a sextile, it's a helping hand. So that tidal wave is probably just what you need to get things moving and grooving. Let me give you some examples of what this might look like for you. For example, if you have Uranus, Jupiter conjunct in your 10th house of career and your public image, something major might occur so that you can clear debt, for example, as Mars, Neptune, and Saturn are in your 8th house. 8th house being debt, right? So maybe you've been drowning in debt, not knowing how to pay it off. And then boom, Jupiter, Uranus in your 10th house advances your career, your public image, and you are making more money to pay off your debt. So that is an example. If you have Uranus, Jupiter in your 6th house of work and health, which would mean that Pisces is in your 4th house and that is Mars, Saturn, and Neptune in your 4th house. It could mean that you change your work, you get a promotion, you change your job so that you are closer to home. It's what you've wanted. You've wanted a job with a lesser commute. You've wanted a job to be closer to home, but you haven't quite made it happen yet. Or it could mean that you are moving homes, that getting a new job allows you to change your home and move your home. It could mean that changing a job, 6th house, could then be that you are closer to family. So I really, really, truly believe that this sextile happening is going to happen to help you get all those planets in Pisces unstuck so that you can then move forward, jump ahead with your life, take a quantum leap in your life. And so just take a look at your own natal chart and see where Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus is, and what house it is. And for that, you would need to know your ascendant or rising sign. And where then are Mars, Neptune, and Saturn in Pisces at this time? Which house number? And you'll see the dynamic and look out for the dynamic of what's about to change in your life. So let's go ahead and get some tarot cards about this planetary transit that is so unique, that happens once every 14 years. Let's have a look. So for the Uranus and Jupiter transit in Taurus, what can those who are watching expect? We've got the 5 of Cups, emotional sadness. That is what is happening in Pisces right now. That emotional sadness, the self-pity, the woe is me, I don't know what to do. I'm living in a dream world, but in an illusion dream world of life could not get any better. This is just the way it is. I'm going to have to just deal with it. And that's kind of what I feel like with all those planets in Pisces, that's what you're feeling now. So Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus transit. 4 of Swords, time for non-action, taking a break, going within, silence. I believe this is the calm before the storm. This is the calm before the storm. This is right now. You're feeling this in Pisces. You're feeling this sign of weakness, irritability, lack of direction, and it's time to take some quiet time to make a decision internally. Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus are going to help you with the explosion of change externally. What else is going on? The moon, the subconscious mind, the moon and the subconscious mind. We've got Pisces energy again here. Blocked intuition, misconception, uncertainty. That certainly is Neptune. It's Neptune, you guys. So we have Neptune energy. We've got this energy of something being blocked, something not moving forward, just in the water of Pisces, just floating around, not having any sense of direction, and maybe even being disillusioned by your life. And something in that area of your life, wherever Pisces is right now in your chart with those 3 planets. So let's look at the solution. What is the solution with Uranus, Jupiter conjunct in Taurus? The Death card, internal change. The Death card, and it's actually reversed, and it's internal change. And I feel like that's what the 5 of Cups, internal change, is happening with letting go of the sorrow, the pain, the self-pity, the signs of weakness on the inside of you. I think you're letting go of that. You need to let go of that. And I really believe that these 2 planets, Jupiter, Uranus, and Taurus, are going to help you to change internally, to then accept the external changes. So Jupiter, Uranus, and Taurus, what else can you tell me, please, angels? 7 of Swords in reverse. I like this so much better than 7 of Swords upright. It's just straightening the record, straightening out the record, straighten the record. And that's with the 4 of Swords, the card of rest, reflection, So some explosion could happen that sets the record straight, meaning maybe somebody did you wrong, maybe you were hurt, maybe somebody accused you of something that you did not do. Maybe you're dealing with a court battle, and I really feel like this explosion, Jupiter, Uranus, Taurus, is going to clear the air, clear your name, clear the record. And I feel like that change is going to happen if that's your case. Let's get one more. Jupiter, Uranus, and Taurus conjunction, solution here. Page of Coins, no follow through. So, the reason why we have to have this big explosion, the reason why we have to have this big change is the moon, subconscious, with the Page of Coins in reverse without following through. Remember how I said, I feel like this is happening because of Mars, Saturn, and Neptune in Pisces? It's happening because of the lack of follow through. There's been something in that area of your birth chart that you have not been following through on. There's been feelings of weakness. There's been feelings of disillusionment. There's been feelings of imagination gone wild of why you can't change, why you can't do this, why you can't move forward. And Uranus, Jupiter, and Taurus are going to come in and say, well, you now have no choice. This is going to change. You now have zero choice. It's going to change. And it's for the better. Just know this. Even if the big explosion, the big shock and awe change that is about to occur in your life, even if it makes you sad, angry, upset, disturbed, shocked, know that it is for the better. Know that whatever area in your birth chart that it is happening in, whichever house it happens to be happening in, it is because you have refused up until this point to make the decisions, to make the changes, to move forward with a singular path. And it's all for the betterment of you. Internal change. It's going to unblock all of this energy that has been stuck. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. Thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this with others who really like astrology and want to learn more. Thank you so much for your support of my YouTube channel. I have 11 published books. You can check them out below, as well as booking a reading with me. And I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.